What's up, guys? Black screen right now. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to Higurashi. This was the first time I had ever woken up with such clarity. I think this is what. Hold on, guys. Let's see. This is what the 11th chapter. I think there's supposed to be only 12 chapters. So the series of this game. Well, not, yeah, this game's almost over. I got chapter 2 planned after this. So yeah, I don't know how long that one is. Don't know if it's longer, shorter, or more chapters or less chapters that are shorter or longer. I don't know. Anyways, back to this for now. It was 5:59, just moments before my alarm would go off. I was amazed at the precision of my internal clock and made preparations for the next day of school before I went to bed. I changed quickly and descended to the deserted lower floor. That's right, we're going to get the baseball bat, aren't we? It appeared that my mom was still asleep. Neither breakfast nor lunch was ready. Yesterday I was declared that I would be leaving early today, so it couldn't be helped. I slathered jam on some bread and topped it with instant cocoa just as I was finishing up breakfast. Mom rose groggily from her slumber. My Kichi up early. Is this a sort of school event? Not really. Answering bluntly, I picked up my bag and stood after stuffing 2 pieces of bread down my throat. We're leaving already? About lunch. If you if you don't wait a bit, I can't make it. I waited for her to make my lunch and it ended up being the same time as usual. If I did that, it would raise chances of me running into Rena and Mion on the way. Yes, from today onwards, I was going to go to school alone. I'll be fine for today. Then what we do for lunch? I'll slip out and buy some bread or something at the store. Really? Then here's so much money. Be sure to bring me back the receipt. I took the 1,000 yen bill from Mom and slipped into my pocket. It's pretty early. Rena-chan up this early as well? No, just me. Did you tell Rena-chan that you're leaving early? I had no reason to tell her every little detail, now do I? Finding it difficult answering all sort of questions, I made an annoyed face. Tell Rena that I went ahead when she comes. Hey, Kichi, wait. I said that I didn't trust my parents. I just couldn't rely on them. They couldn't help me. I could only hope that they didn't get involved. It was safer that way. Mom's annoying voice was cut off by the slam of the door. For the first time since I moved here, I headed down the road to school alone. Up until now, I had always walked down the same path at the same time each day, so I always met with the same people at the same places. But today was different. I didn't meet the people I would normally. I didn't meet the people I would normally, and nobody was at the places where I would normally meet them. Of course, Reno was in a spot where we would usually meet, and there wasn't any one spot where we would have met up with me on. The length of the trees, shadows, the morning air, and the brightness of the sun was a completely different type of morning from what I used to. Without a doubt, it felt strange. It left me with an impression that I had destroyed the illusion Hinamisawa had set up for me before it had enough time to prepare all the props needed to deceive me. My Kichikan, you're so early today. Is everyone meeting this early this morning? The person who called out to me was someone we always passed by as we were walk along the edge of the fields. Their name was I forgot. Of course, this was a spot where we usually passed each other. I woke up early today, so I thought it would be a good change of pace. That's all. I threw out a random excuse. What about Rena-chan, Mia-chan? Are you by yourself today? Well, yeah. I was being asked the same type of questions my mom was asking, so I answered them in the same uninteresting, vague manner. It wasn't funny being asked where Rena was each time I passed by someone, but maybe it was to be expected. It was because for so long we were always together so amicably. Even if I felt that I let my guard down, we could still be friends. Stop it, Kishi. Don't think about that anymore. You spent all day yesterday thinking about how dangerous it was to go soft, didn't you? But beep beep, a car horn blared out from out nowhere. Even though I was walking lost in thought, that horn was way too close. A mechanical behemoth barreled at me from behind, catching me completely off guard. By the time I turned around, the van's honking chase is still almost on top of me. I seen plenty of cars veer to the opposite shoulder to avoid pedestrians, but as cars doing the opposite, it felt like there was somebody on the opposite shoulder, and the van was swerving in my direction to avoid them. That blissful train of thought delayed me from realizing so much, much more important. That large mass was hurling right at me. Was it going to hit me? The inside of my head instantly flooded with a painfully cold liquid. In that moment, the scene before me, no time itself had frozen. In the silence of that frozen moment, I compared the van so close that I had no way to dodge it, and my body the other half twisted awkwardly in order to look behind me. There was no way I could dive out the way in my current position. If I lost focus now, the moment would unpause, and I would probably be plowed over, caught in this silly pose, and my over body over towards the patio by the side of the road. If I'd been far enough, I could get with just being hit by the side view mirror. As soon as I thought crossed my mind, the temporal stress was shattered by the defeating sound of the van. The side mirror struck my shoulder, sending me spinning off through the air like a top locked in the contorted position. Kaplash. Sent tumbling through the air, crashed into the muddy patio by the side of the road. My entire body was soiled and drenched, but the choice I had made in that instant was unmistakably believed for the best. I was covered in mud, but when the alternative was being hit by the car, it was the closest I could be to being unscathed. Resting enough in the muddy patio, I had no time. I had enough in me to glare over to stop the van and yell for fitness at the driver. I'm not sure if he was to see me, but the van sped off suddenly. Wait, damn it, this was what they call a hit and run, wasn't it? I couldn't help but continue yelling at profanities. The disgrace of them covered and mud hurt me more than the physical wounds. I slogged through the muddy patio, making my way back onto the road. And this is a crime, idiot. Sorry guys, I just won't say that. Anyways, shit. I'll track you down and see you. If I go looking for a van, I'm sure to find this old village. The path I was on had rice paddies on either side, and it became so narrow that one car could barely fit through. It was a place where you could tear full speed down a car, let alone pass by pedestrians. Not only was this narrow road, but the car just now was closer to my side of the road than the other. When it went past me, even as I cursed, I was desperately trying to suppress the dark cloud rolling up within me. I'm going to bed after I upload this, guys. I always do this when it's early morning. I'm waking up being tired, or before I go to bed when I'm tired. This just wasn't him, man. That car just now was trying to run over me, wasn't it? Thinking back, I did feel like there had been a car creeping on me slowly for a while. That's right, as soon as I parted ways with that person taking a walk, I had a feeling that the whole time. If anyone wanted to pass me, they would have had no shortage of chances. Normally, I would have felt suspicious to turn around sooner. If I was in lost thought, now I was kicking myself for not realizing it was there sooner. And then when the path became narrow and there was no one else in sight, he floored it. If I had hesitated for even a moment, the result would have been no laughing matter, as the adrenaline rush from nearly being run over subsided, and the realization of just how terrifying the preceding events were sunk in. There was no doubt about it. That man was intentionally trying to hit me. My cold, vicious foot seeped from the scalp and slid down the back, Before dribbling off, I struggled to avoid falling into a panic. There was still a possibility that this was really just an accident. Calm down, Kichi. But this was also don't be so naive, Kichi. Being that lax will get you killed next time. You need to always be on your toes. Don't give them any openings. If the enemy was really out to kill me, then next time they would use a more reliable method. If the time came and I was acting like I was now, I'm being covered and I was the price I had paid for being my own naivete. Covered in mud but without injury, not even a sprain. I guess that was what you would call the silver lining. I began walking in, this time cautiously. I wouldn't even show a hint of carelessness. I suspected only Rena others up until now. It was because I expected them that I had to believe there was no other enemies. Oishi-san said so, didn't he? There was the possibility that all the fellows in the village were involved. Was I really mired so deeply in the situation that I had no choice but to try and carry on as usual? Wouldn't it be safest just to hole up myself in a house? But the moment I abandoned my regular routine, everyone around me would abandon theirs as well. For horrifying than we thought. What time is it? Oh, it's only 10 o'clock, man. Come on now. I recalled the tales Oishi-san told me when Hinamisawa was still called Onikakushi. A frightening tale of an entire village of demons hunting their prey, surrounding them and eating them alive. One must not interfere with the demons. One must pretend not to see it. The enemy were numerous, all the village families. The villagers, with their unwavering faith in the curse, would do nothing to help me. The strong and flush of sunshine made me slightly dizzy. I had no idea what was going on anymore. When I suspected it was from the work of man, I would catch a glimpse of Oishi someone's curse, and then when I suspected it was Oishi someone's curse, someone would poke their head out. What was the coincidence? What was the intentional? It was intentional. Who was my enemy? Who was just a bystander? What I really truly want to know is how did I end up with that proverbial bullseye pinned on my back? Eventually, just an answer in a form I could understand will appear. I don't care what will happen, because until then I cannot die. That alone fueled my resolve to find will to keep me to alive. Whatever floats your boat, bro. Whatever keeps you going. I remember seeing the metal bed in the gym store shelf, but there was a padlock on the door bearing my entry. At the very least, I wanted to get my hands on it before anyone else arrived at school. I circled on the school grounds impatiently. All I could find were things like pieces of lumber, nothing I could bring into the classroom easily. Then I had an epiphany. I should search outside the classroom. It was in the classroom to begin with. Then it wouldn't be a problem. I could tell that anyone in the store and nurses were still in their lockers. Good thing I came early and nobody else was here yet. I wondered what could I find in the classroom. I didn't think I could find an especially effective weapon like a bat, but it could be helpful at this point. Until the gym store was open, I needed to find a substitute. A lingering hint of naivety whispered that there was no way I'd be attacked at school, but such soft ideas would no longer protect me. To think they were slowly making their way into parts of my life that I had once thought impenetrable. In the worst case, my own house might not be safe anymore. There was an incredible frightening thought, but I believe that not considering the worst case scenario would have been even more frightening. Anyways, I will survive. So long as I live, then I will definitely be able to escape this labyrinth of nonsense. Definitely. My exploration of the classroom came to an impasse. That much was to be expected. There was no way there would be anything that could be a weapon in the classroom. And in case of emergency, there's probably nothing I could do but swing my own chair around. Then glazed landed on the lockers that had come to be used for personal storage. The locker that Mian used to store a pile of games was among them. There was one for each person in class, all lined up. Of course, there was one for me as well. Yeah, he was supposed to be still tracksuit in my locker. Seeing me covered in mud would be strange. I should change later. But first I need a weapon. When my classmates came, it would be harder to rummage through all the lockers. I slowly began opening lockers one by one. They were mostly just filled with things like gym clothes, personal items, and umbrellas. An umbrella. If I couldn't find anything better than this would to be my weapon. I was able to give up finding out anything decent when I opened the locker. That had exactly what I wanted. It was without a doubt a metal bat. It was well worn and pretty beaten up, but there were no doubt it was usable. In the locker that reeked of mold, there was also a hung baseball uniform. It was probably the locker of a student in a Pee Wee League or something like that. If that was the case, he'd probably ask for it back. At the time, I could hear the voices of the children scuffling their noisily in from the hallway. Amongst them, I could make out Rika-chan Satoko. Good morning. Good morning. I'm out here quite early this morning, Kichi-san. I nonchalantly hit the bat I was holding behind my back. What is with your outfit? You're covered in mud. Yeah, I had a little incident. I'm going to change now, so cut me some slack. With that said, I began taking off my clothes. Satoko began to blush, just as I expected her to. Changing from a lady, how you no tact at all. I would think that a lady staring at someone who is changing would be the one lacking in tact. There's no changing room for the boys to just deal with it. As Satoko feigned disgust, she went to the hall, still blushing. Conversely, Rika-chan continued to stare at me, preparing to change. If Rika-chan is a lady as well, then I don't think it would be appropriate for you to be watching. I'm not a lady, so it's fine. She deliberately pouted and looked at me with upturned eyes, then staring at me. Now you're a lady. If I'm a lady, then I suppose I must. Rika-chan, appearing to be satisfied with being considered a lady, made her way to join Satoko in the hallway. Just as I breathed a sigh of relief, Rika-chan stopped suddenly and turned back towards me. You know, guys, I gotta go pee real bad. I'll be right back. Okay, back, guys. That took me a while because I'm sitting having a conversation with my friend about becoming roommates and all that. But anyways, are you going to start playing baseball? It seems like Rika-chan noticed the bat. Yeah, just so you know, I was feeling a bit out of shape. So I thought I'd just try practicing my swing. I think it's wonderful you're taking care of your health. She was talking like an old lady despite her appearance. After saying that, Rika-chan started to leave again, but stopped to look at me back once more. Please don't lose that bat. As she tried, I took it out of someone's locker. There was no name on the locker door. I didn't know whose bat it was, but I would be borrowing it until they complained. It wouldn't be for long, just until the gym store was opened. I took quickly changed into Chuck so I checked the time. I still had plenty of time before class began, because I came so early. I took the bat in one hand, and when I went out to the schoolyard, that was, of course, to practice my swing. I needed to make it known I would always have a bat on me so I could practice my swing. At some point, the sunlight had become even stronger. Disregarding my classmates as they made their way to school, I took my position in the shadow of the school building. I wasn't the academic type, and I wasn't much of an athlete either. I might get muscle pain if I just suddenly started swinging. I should at least start out with some warm-ups. I doubt anyone who would think I was doing out of the ordinary, which was the exact opposite of my actual mental state. I grabbed the bat and swung lightly. The bat was by no means light, the way it would make it a reliable weapon when I needed it to be. Of course, I could only pray that the moment I needed to use this as a weapon would never come. Just carrying it around could deter attacks against me. At least that's what I hoped. Huh? Kichi-chan? Or Ki-chan? What are you doing? Being bombarded with such a hysterical voice that jumped. What are you Are you on the baseball team? This baseball team, it was Rina and Mion. I was surprised to hear you went off ahead. What are you doing, Ki-chan? Can you tell by looking? I'm practicing my swing for the championship. You can say it's part of my diet if you want. Daiki's are really that fat? But you didn't know, I actually have a beer belly. It's a plump and jiggles. Plump and jiggles. Rina, you don't have to imagine something weird like that. Do this at me if imagining something that vulgar ruffled her hair messily. Well then, hope you make it to the regionals at least. This old man will cheer you on. Regionally speaking, it seems that Oishi High is pretty strong. They say their South Park comedy kind is amazing. Good luck. Seems like you made it out as some kind of a local prodigy, but oh well. Well, if I really did make it to the championship, it would be a cinch. After all, I'd be the pitcher and the catcher. I pitched the ball and run past that ball at just doing change over to being the catcher and the burst of super incredible explosive speed. I laughed dryly as a ludicrous image. Coming back to my senses, I smashed the bat against the ground. Damn it. What am I laughing at? What's going on? Oh, okay. Here we go. I pounded the ground over and over. With each impact, a reverberation traveled through the bat, stung my hands. If they make me smile like that, I'll... Don't allow anyone to anyone close to me. Don't trust anyone, no matter how many times I tell myself that. If they made me smile like that, I already knew quite well that there were demons rolling in my smiling friends. But I couldn't just believe it. Did that kind of split personality really exist? Like how Reina confessed to the doctor, were they simply being possessed by Yoshio-sama? In other words, did a supernatural being like Yoshio-sama really exist and wants to possessing and wants to try and kill me? Yeah, that would be wonderful. If only one were actually my friends all along and everything was all just Yoshio-sama's fault. You damn fool, Kichi, maybe come on now. I yelled out, drawing out all the power from the pit of my stomach and raised the bat violently into the air. Stop being so soft. As I screamed out with all my might, I beat the metal bat into the ground over and over. With every impact, my weakness was being beaten down. Smash. Forget. Smash. Don't be soft. Smash. You know your enemy. Smash. Like hell, I let them kill me. My shoulders heaving up and down from my ragged breath. I heard the first bell ring just as I calmed down. Go on, where's the text type, bruh? No, seriously, where's it at? Okay, is it coming? No? I'm confused. How long is this video game going for? Okay, I'm 38 minutes, but that's just I was in the bathroom and talking to my friends, so I don't know how long it's really been. I grasped at the sudden realization. That was the final bell. At first, I felt the tension drain from me. I let out a deep breath. My mind was in a muddled state for much of the entire day. I didn't feel like I was awake, but I didn't feel like I was asleep either. I couldn't say it felt especially comfortable, but I felt like a kind of a relief that simplicity of the school part of my daily life had yet to be violated. How long would I have to keep on living like this? I could only grip my teeth and bear it with this living holy living hell slowly gnawed away at me. Kichi-kan, come on. It's club time, club time. A sound of Rina's voice brought me back to my senses. Come on, Kichi-chan, stop spacing out. Bring your desk. Everyone was moving their desk together as usual. That's right, it was happy fun club time. But I had no intention of taking part. I haphazardly stuffed the contents of my desk into my bag as I prepared to go home. It was a weak-handed gesture to avoid having to actually say I'll be going home now. What's this, Ki-chan? You planning on going home right away again? I sounded quite disappointed. I'm just not in the mood. Could you just let me be for a while? The tone of the words that spilled from my mouth matched Mina's disapproving glare. It felt like the air in the room had dried out. Satoko looked at me like she was about to say something, but perhaps dissuaded by that mood, she swallowed her words and stayed silent. Nobody said a thing. I took that meaning I could leave if I wanted. But the collective gaze of the four of them, like the tiny pins used to mount and expect and display, held me in place. Rina was the one who cut through the heavy mood. Kichi-kan, you just stand like playing with the girls, I guess, she said in such a melancholic tone that I sent away with pain racing into my heart. This pain was going to kill me. I wanted it to be the soft part of me that could still feel my pain. I turned out my chest, finally tearing out the pins that held me in place. That's not it at all. I'll only be hurting myself by saying anything more, so I swallowed my words. Cutting things off here, I turned away and exited the classroom. They didn't speak a word to me as I left. It was a long, dull trip back home, but I didn't lose focus. I firmly squeezed the grip of the bat, which was already soggy from sweat. Realizing that, I wiped it down with my sleeve. If something were to happen, I wouldn't want it to be slippery. Since this morning, I had become especially sensitive to the presence of cars. Even while talking to my ears, pricked up and sought out threatening sounds of presence that could be closing in. And now is why I could hear it. Without a doubt, there were footsteps. Those footsteps had matched up perfectly with mine for a while now. From what I could sense, it was just one person. But I had no intention of being careless. They intended to follow me like that car this morning until we were in a good location to assault me. And it wasn't a good idea to keep walking like this. I stopped walking and looked back. The wooded path crowded with trees responded with silence, as if nobody was there to begin with. But I wouldn't be fooled. I was certain footsteps were following me. And just as I stopped, the footsteps stopped as well. The person following me wanted to keep their distance. That was without question proof that I was their target. I held my breath waiting for that presence to panic and start moving again. The trees rustled with the sound of the wind. The Higurashi also joined the dissonant chorus, trying to throw my focus into disarray. Had 5 minutes passed, or had I been like this for a whole 30 minutes? It was so hard to breathe that I might have suffocated. It seemed that I would be the first one to panic. Without doubt, he was looking in the shadow of the tree with bated breath. Then I would make the first move. I fixed my grip on the bat. I raised it to my shoulder, be ready to swing at any time. Hey, I know you're there. Without my mind, I screamed at whoever was hiding in the shade of the trees, but their presence in the shade didn't bulge. Until the moment I found them, they had no intention of revealing themselves. I know already. I know you're there. I screamed out angrily at them, but even so, they didn't move at all. Then I'll go over there myself. Oh shit. With all due vigilance, I approached step by step. Stepping into the tree's shadow, I saw a human figure there. That figure was curled up like a small animal. Rina. When she realized I found her, her expression softened. She seemed apologetic, but I wasn't going to speak a word. Did you have someone business with me? I wouldn't accept that silence to scream the question at her. No, not really. It's just, Rina was in a panic with tears welling up in her eyes. But it was obvious that she had been following me. What about the club? Since you're not, I'm not. That shouldn't matter. Don't mind me and just play. But I'm just worried about you. Thinking about how I've been acting up until now, it wasn't hard to imagine that my behavior could have been perceived as strange. So Rina was concerned. I had a quick glance at how it would seem. But I wasn't going to let my guard down that easily. Even if it was just really the case, she still wouldn't have to do something like that to tell me. She could have called out to me when I was leaving and gone out right with me. But Rina didn't do that. She kept her distance from me and matched my walking speed. On top of that, she matched the sound of her footsteps and deviously tried to hide her presence from me. Then after she realized I didn't know she was there, she held her breath as if she was trying to hiding from me. She wore a timid expression that was forced to take pity on her, but without a doubt she was telling me, "Stop following me." Ha ha. Still glaring at me, and I continued walking onwards. After I walked for a bit, she ignored my command, began walking again, so I yelled at her once more. I told you not to follow me. Eek, but my house is in the same direction. Then walk ahead of me. I'll start walking once I can't see you anymore. I moved out the way and whipped my bat violently to urge her forward. I'd like to go home together with you. Making a pitiful expression, she squeaked out the words in a voice that she knew would cut out into my heart. That agitated me to no end. I knew it was a lie. If you wanted to go home together, then you should have called out to me. Now you're just blurting out random lies. I'm so sorry, I'm sorry. I seemed that seething anger within me. It was written all over my face. Even without me saying anything, Rena had understood what I was feeling inside. If you get it, then go. I swung the bat, urging her to walk again. Rena looked back and forth between me and the bat, started walking hesitantly, then stopped again. Go on then, hurry. I'm going, so please stop with the bat. It's scary. Rena guarded herself while pointing at me, holding the bat. She may have realized that I wasn't planning on using the bat for baseball. I lowered the bat, but still guardedly opened the way for her. Go. There's no problem now, is there? There was nothing else she could protest. She passed by timidly, so as to not set me off. As I watched her pass by, she stopped completely after barely moved at all. Hey, don't stop. Then a powerful gust blew past us, barraging my face with dust. Crazy girl again, huh? The dust got in my eyes that clouded my vision. While rubbing my face with my left hand, I swung blindly with the bat in my right, protecting a small opening I had presented. But Rena didn't even try to attack during the opening. Exactly, no. She hadn't bulged an inch. I could tell from the sound of her fluttering skirt in the wind. As her skirt settled, so did the silence. At that moment, the voice inside me immediately warned me of impending danger. I was caught by surprise. The smell of the air had changed. Without me realizing that the air surrounding me suddenly felt like a calamity was about to befall me. It was like the air suddenly became invisible concrete, like Rena and I were locked into this space. I didn't move an inch. I was unable to move. I stared at her back. Rena was the first to break the silence. It seemed like she altered her stance. I felt like I had just witnessed her shift from Rena to the other person who looks like Rena. But the voice was on a new world, which filled me with kind of bewildering pity. Curiously, I felt relief upon hearing that pitiful voice. Well, excuse me, but, can I ask you something? Too shy to even turn around, Rena squeezed her voice out desperately as she trembled. What? Well, why do you have a bat, I wonder? The question Rena asked was by no means unexpected. I can carry whatever I want, but you didn't have one up until today. Why so suddenly? It's sorry if I decided to do something suddenly, isn't it? It is a strange that I have a bat. Because, Kichi, you're not the kind of person to play baseball. It's weird. I couldn't tell what kind of answer she was looking for, and I was content of answering her. I just suddenly got the urge to play baseball. That's so weird. That's weird, she answered instantly, and that annoyed me slightly. I just suddenly wanted to play baseball, and I wanted to practice my swing, so I'm carrying around the bat. What's strange about that? Strange, weird, definitely. Why is Kichi also? Your ramblings are annoying me. Is it that strange for me to have an interest in sports? I tried to sound a bit more threatening to end the conversation until my suspicions about Rena were cleared. I had no obligation to answer her questions. I'm sorry, don't get so angry. Rena still didn't want to turn around and spit out words of apology one after the next. Just one last thing. Tell me one last thing. I don't feel like talking anymore. Hurry up and go. I yelled out at her, causing her to flinch like she had been struck. Seeing her in such a pathetic state caused my heart to ache sorely. Even though she was afraid, she stubbornly kept herself from moving. Before I was able to threaten her again, Rena asked her final question. Why is that the bat the same too? What did she mean by the bat was the same? I had no idea what she was talking about. What are you saying? I mean, why is even the bat the same? I don't understand what you mean at all. Say it clearly. Even still, Rena didn't turn around. After inhaling deeply, she screamed. I mean, why is even the bat the same as Satoshi-kun's? Satoshi Bean, huh? Upon hearing that name out of the blue, I became defiant for a brief moment. By Satoshi, did she mean the student who transferred out last year? No, she couldn't be. Rena had to cover it up by saying he transferred, but Oishi-san told me clearly that he was missing. He was a student who sat at my seat up until last year. He believed to have been demoned away by Ushio-sama's curse. I didn't know the detail about his disappearance, but the aunt he lived with was killed the night of the Onikakushi by a drug addict. Not long after that, he suddenly vanished and was now missing. The Satoshi and I were what? My gaze fell into the bat in my hands. Could it be Satoshi Hojo? Oh shit! It was a bit difficult to see, but that was what we were on the white tape at the end of the bat. I see. So this was Satoshi's bat. Oh, this was Satoshi's bat. Since nobody was using it, I borrowed it. It's not a problem, is it? That's not it. The way Rina said it made it seem like this bit was something that should never be touched, like it was some sort of offering at a shrine or a memento to the deceased. I could only stand there, relaxed and unable to respond. Rina continued to speak without waiting for a reply. Why is it? Why is it that you're always doing the exact same thing to Satoshi-kun did when it happened to him? Rina was talking about more than just the bat belonging to Satoshi. It was the same with Satoshi-kun. He joined the baseball team, but he didn't really like baseball. What does that have to do with me? Satoshi-kun also started walking out with the bat one day. He joined the team, but he wasn't the type to play sports. What about it? I closed my mouth before I could say that out loud. Listen carefully, Kichi. Rina is trying to tell us something important. Satoshi-kun also one day came to school all by himself all of a sudden, just like Kichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly started practicing his swing, just like Kichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly began carrying the bat around with him, just like Kichi-kun. Then one day he suddenly... Then one day he suddenly what? Rina swallowed her words. Rina's silence brought a hush back to the surrounding area. It was then that I could find that just the content of the entire conversation. She said my chain of actions was exactly the same as Satoshi's. What was the meaning of this? Up until now, I'd forgotten all about Satoshi. I had never paid much thought to him in the first place. Not only that, I didn't even know anything of what he'd done. My actions today would have been my own creation after all the planning I had done. But they had been exactly the same as Satoshi's. And Satoshi, no more importantly, if both Satoshi and I acted the same, then there was really good possibility that what happened after would be the same. We know that day what happened to Satoshi. Rina knew. She knew what became of Satoshi. Forget what happened to the guy in the past. Rina knew it was going to happen to me. That's to me, Rina. Satoshi, what happened to him? With that, I grabbed Rina's shoulder violently and forcibly turned around to face me. Oh, she's going to be crazy bitch now. As I faced her, I felt a jolt travel through my entire body. Ah, shit. I told you, Kichi-kun. It was that person that I didn't know. At least it definitely wasn't Rina Ryuku I've been talking up until now. That voice just now didn't have a trace of the trembling or emotion that I had before. The amount of regret I felt for her turning around so carelessly was unsurpassed. That gaze pierced me like a cold needle. A smile on her face that invoked an image of having been carved out by a knife. Chills went down my spine. My mind froze under a layer of rime. I felt Rina's eyes pierce through mine, leaving me unable to look away, as if to remind me the fear from that time before Rina brought her face close to mine, so close that I could feel her breath. Her face had filled my entire field of vision. Then her sharply shaped lips grew even sharper, like the curve of a crescent moon. She grinned. I told you, Kichi-kun. After a short pause, Rina repeated the same words again. Satoshi-kun, you see, transferred out. Transferred meaning what? What Rina meant must have been some new definition of transfer that I previously not aware of. With their lips shut up, I couldn't even... Oh, this is what I just heard. All I could do was swallow down my own saliva. You had seen that Rina saw that as a nod. She pulled her gaze back and sprayed back 2 or 3 spaces. As she did, my legs gave out and I fell to my knees pathetically. Rina me on my knees underneath her emotionless smile. That had to be a very odd sight indeed. Seeming apathetic, say she neither scoffed at me nor held out her hand. But I could neither stand nor escape her gaze shooting through my eyes. There was undoubtedly a metal bat in my hand, but right now it was useless to me. It was like a flake on her web. Having sweat beaded all over my body, I could feel it dripping from my skin. But you won't, will you, Kichi-kun? Rina finally released me from that cage after what was like an eternity. Her question was gone, missing still important, and was incredibly vague. Once again, I swallowed the hard urging her on. Do what? What does she not want me to do? Transfer. I thought transfer, so he died, so, I don't know. I'd transfer, though, if I was him. I got an achievement. Pinch hitter. Or does that say Hitler? Oh my god, that's suspect shit. Okay. Satoshi and I had a what? All my well-planned actions throughout the day turned out to have been nothing more than a reenactment of what Satoshi had done. Satoshi, had he really been in the same situation as I was now? The friends had gotten along with that change suddenly and for no reason, at least. Not guys. Wait, hold on. Reason, at least none that I know is planned to kill him. Okay, hold on, guys. Okay, I am back again. Okay, plan to kill him. Then, fearing for his life as I am, he got back to protect himself and carried it around everyday practice to swing. Then one day, suddenly, he transferred. My blood went cold, causing a prickling sensation. The curse coursed through my veins. Started near my heart. It radiated towards from the top of my head, soles of my feet, chilling every part of me without recourse. What did she mean by transfer? What did she mean by transfer? Was Satoshi still at wherever he would transfer to? Was he the only one who would be able to understand me? So was he be able to tell me why it ended up like this? More importantly, where did he transfer to? What did she mean by transfer? What does she mean by transfer? Ooh, I just hit my mic. I'm sorry about that, guys. If that was picked up, I had to itch my eye real bad. Before I knew it, I was at my front door. The frigid knob was hard to turn. It was nobody home. It was that of an occurrence. Reaching in my pocket and pulled out the single key attached to my fur keychain. I stepped into the entryway just as I was about to take off my shoes, and a chill ran down my spine. Savon had entered right behind me, like a classmate messing around, standing up right against my back. You're kidding me. You're kidding, right? It had to be my imagination. Logically speaking, it was impossible for someone to be able to hide their presence within my personal space all the way through the door. But there was undoubtedly someone behind me. Hey, now, Kishi, how do you know they're there even though they're behind you? Because I could hear the sound flowing here. There was no other reason I heard that sound. That was the presence. Because I could hear the sound of them blinking. Kishi, my bear, there was no way I could hear that. It was mostly instinct that anything else was warning of that presence. Common sense was telling me that was just my imagination. It was just my imagination. There was nobody behind me. I began raising the mental image of an airy figure standing behind me. But at the same time, I asked myself if there was nobody, then what was I feeling? An uncomfortable sensation. My spine. Actually, wouldn't it be better if there was somebody there? If there was nobody there, then I need to turn around. Would you be able to accept that? I was able to answer all these questions just by looking behind me. But I didn't have enough courage to even that simple task. Alright, I could try speaking to them. The person behind me might answer me. Was a random thought. I didn't care about it, just as long as I didn't have to turn around. If I had to calm down and thought about it, I would have known that it meant solve anything. Who is it? I was spoken in such a hoarse, broken voice that I couldn't believe it was my own. I could almost feel them conflicting in their response. I felt it. There's no way I should be able to do that. Calm down, Kichi. It's all in your head. That time I was certain I heard it. As if hesitantly trying to answer my inquiry, I was certain I could hear the sound of somebody inhaling. I heard it. I heard it. I heard it clearly. It was a girl. A young girl. I didn't know who, but a tiny speck of courage in me, how recklessly it was, despite a primal yet fitting solution to this cramp predicament scream. All the force of my body released my lungs and through my throat, seizing all thought process in my head. Suppressing all the thoughts and emotions had begun to collapse like a house of cards. Somehow managing to twist my body and look back as I did so. I was definitely there, right there. Somebody was there. Until the moment I turned around, when I brought the area behind me into my vision, they were definitely there. Falling face up, my eyes traced their remains as the presence suspended in the empty space. It couldn't be they were invisible. They looked like they were standing there, but they were actually standing there. As I screamed, all the emotions I was holding back burst free in a violent wave. However, I was decidedly calm as my emotional dam collapsed. The turbulent wave of pent-up emotions was skillfully diverted into a torrent of aggression. The emotion was definitely required to extricate myself from the bizarre situation happening right in front of me. In my state of heightened lucidity, I adjusted my body to the fury. The metal bat held from my right hand was drawn there by a magnet, and my level sweep would be the hardest attack to dodge. I remembered reading something like that from a book about swordsmanship or something. I branched my will to fight. The altar image of that amalgamation metal flash that swung from left to right, beating against the entryway. The bat stemmed to the right wall, tape rebounding violently. Ready to come, I transferred the force of the rebound to a sweep to the left. Oh man. The door of the shoe cupboard was split into pieces. Two swings through empty space, but they seemed to have a great psychological impact on the enemy. I could feel the panic emanating from that space. The attack wasn't the only thing required. After I could get back from the cupboard, it was empty, and I screamed as I spun my entire body around a large arc. Rah! My scream shook the air, and doing ferocious swing with even more destructive power. Crack! Without mercy or restraint, my violent strike with a certain fatal force behind it shot at the top of the cupboard. None of my attacks struck the enemy, but ferocity I certainly seemed to impact them. Breathing heavily, my entire body soaked in sweat, and invisible enemy there was, but not there, dispersed. When I was certain the enemy had retreated, I locked the door and front door and latched the chain. No, I had it only framed retreat was inside of my house. Once again, I turned on my aggression and searched the house for the presence, but it was gone. I asked to see it and fending it off. At that moment, the tension drained from my body, and I let out a deep sigh of relief. The emotions I've been holding back chaotically merged together and began to flood out. A hodgepodge of fear, accomplishment, disbelief all mixed together and began to flow up my body. Unable to deal with each individual feeling, I beat them all back with the strongest exhaustion. Even in this moment, I remained composed. After checking all the doors throughout the house were locked, I went up to my room on the second floor and closed the curtains. I straightened my back and tilted my head back a little after clearing my mind of my idle thoughts. I managed to calm down even more. What was at the front door? There was definitely something there. Thinking about that maybe just an apparition, I dreamt up in my confused state. I think that was the case. Calm down, Kichi Mevera. Compose yourself. No matter how calmly I thought about it, what just happened wasn't fixed by my imagination. It was obviously a supernatural phenomenon, and without a doubt, something was behind me. It wasn't some sort of illusion I saw amidst my confusion and disorientation. Proof? I had just one piece. When I asked who is it, they inhaled as if they were about the answer. That sound had clearly reached my ears. The situation I was in right now was still unclear. Either I had been possessed by the supernatural phenomenon known as Oyashiro-sama's curse, or this was a ruse by the villagers who believed in it and were imitating it. Either way, their motives were unclear. The roundabout way it had been done was also still a mystery. If it was perpetrated by humans, that would mean admitting that was really not risk of them doing it, but it would be solvable. Oishi-san and the rest of the police was truly arresting my enemy, but if it was a manifestation of Oyashiro-sama's curse, I wondered what would happen. Oyashiro-san was very clearly declared that curses didn't exist. At that time, those words were pretty dependable, but these things were now with the arresting possibility that the perpetrators were not human. He suddenly seemed quite unreliable. If I told Oishi-san this was a work of Oyashiro-sama's curse, what would happen? I couldn't imagine his reaction, but it would go without question, and I'd avoid what experimentally between myself and Oishi-san. But with me having a few allies to begin with, and not being able to confidently declare whether or not this was a curse or not, there was no merit to doing that. I better keep the facts of what just happened at the doorway to myself. It would be better if I didn't add what happened here to the memo behind the clock. There was still the ever so slight possibility that I was confused, and not that I was composed, and I was just going berserk in an inch way. However, I wondered if that would be really what happened. Are we able to refute someone's curse? If I was denying someone's curse, that would mean that Rina and the rest were the perpetrators. If I said that Rina and the rest were perpetrators, and that would mean believing in Oyashiro-sama's curse. But now in both of those, I'll be admitting that myself was losing it. The three options from which I couldn't choose became a jumble of sorts that mixed together from the whirlpool in my mind, making my head spin. Once again, I straightened myself and leaned my head back slightly to cool myself down. Calm down, Kishi, accept what has actually happened in this reality. So I think of anything more than that, but I couldn't help but think of it. I wonder how it would be if it turned out I was delirious. Anything that would turn out was a figment of my imagination. Oyashiro-sama's curse wouldn't exist. I would still be best buddies with Rina and the rest. I would have to be crazy. It was the first time in my life I ever wished for such a thing. Yeah, man, you might be better off like that. Oh, a phone ringing. The phone was ringing noisily downstairs. Generally, there was no calls for me, so I never really answered the phone much. But since my parents weren't here, I had no choice. I stormed off the bed and went downstairs. Fire-Oishi-san again. Though this is my Barry residence. Kichi, this is Mom. I intuitively had a bad feeling about this. It was because I thought she was going to ask me to go out and buy some things, so I took the initiative. What? I don't mind having instant noodles for dinner. There's still a lot of them. The other day we went out to family and bought a whole cup of noodles. I wanted to get a bunch of different kinds actually, but they refused since the individual packs were expensive. So instead I bought a whole case of good-sized pork bone and ginger flavor ones I liked. But my parents don't like strong flavors and I didn't touch any of them, so the cupboard was still full of them. See, there was willing to go shopping, right? He said I'm not asking to go shopping. Mommy and Daddy had to go to Tokyo right now because of work. Huh? Right now? This was really abrupt. No, we're already here. We left this afternoon. It was quite a distance from Tokyo to Hinamizawa. Getting at full speed down the highway would still take 6 hours. Dad has a license, but still, since he doesn't like the highway, they likely took the train. It would have taken longer. I'm thinking you might understand since you heard us speaking last night, but it has to do with Daddy's contract right now, so things are going so smoothly. Now that she mentioned it, I remember they talked about how his job and perspectives weren't looking so good. Daddy is really sensitive to things like this, so if we leave things as they are, it will affect his work. Part of my father's particular fragile, artistic personality is emotions change as is the false sky. He could also say he couldn't take criticism. But something like that can be done over the phone. Kichi, this is your father's job, so you can support him a bit, please. Anyway, it's just faster to talk about it in person, so there won't be any misunderstandings. As their son knows that Marcus is saying once they start talking about work. So we'll be back tomorrow night. Kichi, will you be fine on your own? It's not like I'll die or anything. Kichi, you shouldn't speak so loudly of dying. If there's something troubling, you just talk to us. I believe Mommy will be able to help out. Just say I'd be enough if I died rather abruptly, so I suppose they were a little worried. But really, I was more depressed by the fact that nothing was solved by telling them. But I didn't plan on dying. At least not while I still knew nothing. I would never allow it. I won't die. I won't. I'll survive even if I have to gnaw my leg off. Yeah, I'll see you then. Tomorrow morning, make sure to wake up and eat your breakfast. And don't forget to take a bath and brush your teeth. Yeah, see ya. Like all ended like that. Sometimes my parents went off to Tokyo for business meetings. But Tokyo was far away. They normally did things by phone. The times they did go were normally planned out in advance, but it never happened this suddenly. I couldn't say that these circumstances didn't feel strange or rather unnatural. Anyway, I recognize the reality of the situation. That tonight I was the only one in the house. That when my parents came back from work, I'd be gone, missing, vanished. Looking back on a series of events the previous 5 years, or just drew someone's curse, it wasn't seem that strange at all. Come to think of it, it was getting pretty late. I think it was good that the only light on in the whole house was my room on the second floor. It was the same as broadcasting to the enemy that my parents were gone, and this was their chance. First, I ran to the living room, flicked on the lights, and turned on the TV to reassure volume. Next was a study. I simply turned on the lights and some music. With this from the outside, I looked like my parents were here. Once again, I went through the house, checking to see if there was anything left unlocked. When I saw the veranda and laundry still hanging out there, I went pale. That would have made it too obvious I needed to take it down. I stashed the laundry haphazardly and erased all traces that my mother wasn't there. It should be fine now. The garage. They hadn't gone all the way to Tokyo by car, but they had gone up to Onikakushi station. The garage was empty, wide open, and in plain sight. This was not good. I panicked and rushed out to the back to close the normally open garage door. It should be fine now. I needed to get the paper. Mom always got the paper since they left in the afternoon. The evening paper was still out there. My premonition was correct. I pulled out everything from my mailbox and dropped it in the entryway. That's a lot of mail, dude. With this, for sure, should be fine. Come to think of it, leaving the cupboard bust like that for my little freak was kind of bad. I just had to fell in the bat I was holding smushed into it. Even so, just leaving it in its current state wasn't good. I should clean it up a little before Mom got back and scolded me. I remember that there was a broom and dustpan in the closet, and I was going to get them, but the phone rang one again. Oh, this is maybe a residence. Oh, is this Kichi-kun? Is your mother around? She is around at the moment. You idiot, Kichi, my bear. Don't reveal that your parents are gone. You can't follow up. You can follow up still. Calm down, take care of it. I think she'll be back soon. That was a good response either. And I might say they'll call again or tell her to call when she comes back. Then that's fine. It wasn't anything important. Though then, sorry for the bother. The scenario I feared didn't play out, eliciting a sigh of relief. That call was unfortunately in more ways than one. I had to deal with more telephone calls coming off from my parents tonight. I was somehow able to deal with the phone call just now, but I couldn't continue to rely on such poor improvisation. I needed to make up a good story to explain my parents were home but couldn't answer the phone at the moment. They were making temporary and couldn't step away right now. That wasn't good enough. They were sick and went to bed because they weren't feeling well. Was that going to be safe enough? I was thinking about it on the way back to my room. The phone rang once again. It was like they were calling me because they knew I was going to lie. I didn't want to pick up, but I knew I had to. They suspect my parents weren't here. I should have just taken the phone off the hook under the pretense that I didn't realize that it was. But since the phone rang, I had to pick it up. I prepared myself and looked at the receiver. Hello? I stopped announcing this was the Mayberry residence. I had no reason to be kind of someone I didn't know the identity of. Unlike my uncouth voice, the person on the other side sounded goofy and lighthearted. Hello, my apologies for calling so late. This is Oishi from the Okinawa bookstore. Oishi-san? Is that you, Mayberry-san? Good evening. Good to hear you're doing well. Wait just a moment, please. I grabbed the portable handset and rushed up to my room with it. It was the same no matter where I was since there was no one else at home. I wanted to speak in a spot that I just felt a bit safer from speaking on the phone with Oishi-san. Sorry for the wait. How are things? Anything changed since then? Since when was that exactly? There was about the brazen way he talked that rubbed me the wrong way. The last time I spoke with Ushi-san was 2 days ago. The day I stayed home from school, I met Ushi-san on the way back from the hospital, and we headed into town for lunch and we talked. And after that, Rina and Mion came to check up on me. Whenever I spoke with Ushi-san, they always knew about it. It was like that since the first time I met him. Today's phone call may well be found out by them as well. Hello? Can you hear me, Mayberry-san? Huh? Oh, sorry. What did you say? I asked if anything has changed since the last time. There wasn't an answer, so I got a bit worried. Not really. The words stuck in my throat. There was a ton of stuff that happened. All of it baffling. What should I talk about? I didn't understand any of it, but I should try asking. If I didn't ask now, I may never have another chance. This is night when my parents weren't home. I had no guarantees I would make it through the night safely after all. Well, Luigi-san, it seems that someone is after me. Really? It could be all just coincidence, but the day at my school when I was sick, and 2 of them came to check up on me. Which 2? Rina and Mion. They started asking about how I lunched with you. What next? They let me some mochi when they came to visit, but there was a needle inside. Fortunately, I somehow didn't swallow it. I wonder if they could have just been a threat. About the needle. It was just one of those common sewing needles you see all the time. There was a hole to the third strand through. Note that maybe that needle itself, that's evidence. It could be used as proof that they threatened you. Whereas the needle, that's right, that's it. I dropped the receiver and rushed downstairs. When I tossed the mochi, I had overlooked it out terrified that needle was a valuable piece of evidence. I accidentally threw the mochi and needle over the wall together. If it was there, then it would be on the living room wall. When I put it in my leg, I cleaned the living room wall, and there was no trace of mochi left on it. If it had dropped in a gap between the wall and carpet, I frantically searched by running my palm around the carpet, but nothing turned up. So moving around the sofa and desk, pulling up the carpet and then flapping it around. But I couldn't find the needle. My mom cleaned up everything without noticing it. It was just 2 days ago. I didn't know what day they collected the burnable trash, but it still might be in the trash bin in the kitchen. They rushed to the kitchen, opened the letters, and poured out the contents. Even at a glance, I could tell that it would be difficult to find the needle on this pile of trash. It was looking for a needle on the trash stack. I know I'll try running my hand through it. It was a bit gross, but I was looking for a needle. If I felt some more prick, I would be able to find it. It was a pretty tactless method, but it was still the quickest. I held my breath and started striking the piles of trash in my hand. Flew about. There was nothing more disgusting than this, but it's not the time to be concerned about such detail. We hung for a while, but nothing turned up. I wanted to search more thoroughly, but I was still on the phone. I shouldn't keep Uchi-san waiting for too long. Later, my mom got back out to ask her if there was a needle. I actually began scribbling on the notepad fixed to the fridge of the magnet. Was there a needle? I scrawled on the words on a red pen. I then dashed back upstairs while I had been keeping Uchi-san waiting for too long. Hello? How did it go? I couldn't find it. I was really overwhelmed back then, and I see. It would be great if you could find it. Keep it safe. That's right, the needle was the only incident. I had to tell him about this morning with the hit and run. Also, issues I noticed and all. Actually, this morning, that van was definitely aiming for me. I could say that without question due to their circumstances at the time. Do you see the license plate? I can search for it from here. Damn. I just flipped out, yelling that back then, but I didn't look at the plate or fillers on my part with the needle and plate number. I was so focused just protecting myself that I let some of the most important details slip out of my grasp. I punched my pillow, annoyed at how worthless I was. I'm sorry, I don't know much more than that. It was a white van. Nothing to fret about, my better son. Anyone who would be shaken up after being hit. I guess all of this really isn't coincidence, is it? Oji-san started hemming and haw over the other end. I could imagine him folding his arms. Also, Rina acting strange. How so? What Rina said on the way home today. Asking why I was so much like Satoshi-kun. Now I could say with confidence that Rina knew what happened to Satoshi. She knew that there was more to him just simply disappearing. She knows something regarding what happened to Satoshi, the kid who was demoned away last year. What could be exactly? Rina said I was the same as Satoshi. She said something to the effect that things are going. I'll end up the same fate as Satoshi. Fate, you say? Exactly what kind of fate does she say would befall you? Transferring out, she said. Transferring out? Rina said Satoshi transferred out. So now things are going with me. I'll transfer out too. Oji sounded let out a stern sign and grumbled loudly. Embarrassed, that was probably some sort of threat. And maybe some type of warning. I thought so too. At that point I started to think. Would it be to prudent to sum up everything that happened up until now as the explanations of some human perpetrator? Other than the three of it being Rina and the others, I was left Oyoshiro's curse. Oyoshiro's curse actually existing as the only other explanation. Of course, I didn't tell it to Oishi-san. Except Rina's strange behavior could be proof of the other scenarios. Whether it was Oyoshiro's curse being real or everything being part of a conspiracy committed by all of the villagers, Rina was still involved. Rina had to know something. Rina was suspicious. What exactly was Rina? I couldn't help but think she was somehow involved with the prior string of mysterious deaths. I seem to recall that Oishi-san had admitted that he had dug into Rina's past a little. He was probably just downplaying it when he said a little, meaning he had actually dug pretty deep, most likely. I wanted to hear about Rina. I wanted to know what happened at her previous school, and among other things that were still unknown to me. If Rina was somebody I should suspect. No, not that. I wanted to know the truth. Tonight I was alone in this huge house. Even though I said I couldn't count on them, I lost the security I felt I had just by my parents being around. It wasn't like this house was still in a fortress or castle. If a malicious person decided to use brute force, they'd easily gain entry. There were no other residents close to my parent residence. No one would be able to hear anything, no matter how loud it was. I never felt as much resentment towards my father's artistic temperament, and the fact that he had his house built in such a remote location as I did right now. I wonder if it would still be here by tomorrow morning. So I had to ask right now, because I had no idea when the next chance would come. Moshi-san, ask what I want to ask about. Please don't keep anything from me. Sure, ask away. Even though he was far away from the other end of the line, that was the most reliable he had ever felt. I want to ask about Rina, about what happened at her previous school. Actually, going to Rina's. I know it's a sound I've been going on for a while now. Since I was so focused on the call, I hadn't paid attention to it at first, but I finally realized it was the doorbell. That time, 7 o'clock. It was past the time the postman would be making delivery, and it passed an insensible time for a neighbor to be visiting. I considered just acting like nobody was home, but that wouldn't be good. Would that ruin all the work I put into making it look like my parents were home? I need to answer the door. Hello, my bearer's son? Sorry, someone seems to be at the door. I'm going to see who it is. I guess I see. My apologies. Should we end this phone call now? That would be a problem. Oh, no, I'll be back in a second. Do you mind if I just leave the phone on? Oh, it's fine, I don't mind. I popped up hands out of my bed and dashed down to the door. I need to make up a good excuse to get them to leave. I had a hunch it was a lady who called up before Ishi-san did, in which case it would be one of the neighbors who were friends with my mom. I just say my mom was feeling well, went to bed early. That would be the easiest option. It's probably me on our Rena. It'd be harder for me to ask why my mom was with because she's not feeling well. The bell continuing at regular intervals. If someone should answer during the doorbell, someone you should normally give up and go home, wouldn't you? Without moving the chain, I opened the door slightly and peered out the visitor. A chill ran down my spine. I knew it. Somewhere deep inside, I prepared for this moment. I tried to escape by imagining he was the easiest person to deal with, one of my mom's friends. Oh no, good evening. Rena, there shouldn't be any reason for Rena to come over at this hour. This timing doesn't make me feel uneasy. It's because it was just as I was about to ask her, she said about Rena. I wish I could have chalked up this weird coincidence, but those unsettling words from me on several days ago had come back to me. There's nothing this old man doesn't know. Are you alone, Rena? Yeah, it seems that Mion wasn't with her. But that doesn't change the situation at all. Why did you come here? Hey, Keith, I'd like you to open the door so we can talk. Can I come inside? I wonder. It was true that sneaking through a chain door was the right way to talk to a classmate. But in my house, the chain has to be on at night. Don't worry about it. Then it can't be helped, I guess. Rena pouted rather sadly, but she kept smiling at least to keep her effort. That smile was quite pitiful. Even though she was tugging at my heartstrings, I didn't lower my guard. As long as I say like this, even if it made my heart ache, my life was in danger. What I really feared more than the possibility that hoodlums would assault me if I moved the chain was trusting Rena enough to move the chain and having my friendship betrayed. As long as the chain wasn't unlatched, even if my heart ached, I wouldn't have to deal with being betrayed by Rena. Since it didn't seem like I removed the chain from her silent urging, she appeared to give up on trying to get an inch away. Oh man, this chapter is long. Have you eaten yet, Kishi-kun? No, I haven't eaten. Since my mom wasn't there, dinner wouldn't be ready no matter how long I waited. I lay down and I got home. I was looking up by the phone. Didn't have a chance to eat since I used up all that time talking. I was going to look up the noodles in case I would just eat one whenever I wanted to. No, not yet. But what about it? Hey, then good. Look here. I brought a bunch of dishes. And I had a stack of boxes wrapped in a cloth. If I could use your kitchen, I can heat up the miso soup and other stuff. It's fine, you don't need to do that. But there's a lot of tofu and vegetables in it. Does Keith kind of like the type of stuff? I wonder. There's no way I wouldn't like that. I love miso soup with tons of ingredients. White radish, carrots, burdock root, potatoes, dins for roast vegetables. Yeah, that miso soup looks incredible. I also brought rice, so if you microwave it, you can eat it rather really quickly without a doubt. Rice needs miso soup. Stuffing rice down your gullet, sipping miso soup in between your the bites. Oh yes, how wonderful it is to be born Japanese. Also, I made some more pickles. I made sensai pickles this time. If I had moved here to Humasawa, I scoffed at the mountain vegetables called sensai. But I was captivated by their charm first time I tried them, with such a deep yet light flavor. The vegetables from the supermarket were tasteless and bland compared to these. If you had to describe them, then they were the vegetables for the uninitiated. To become an expert such as myself, you first had to partake of sensai. There was common knowledge around here that the Ryū family's traditional pickles were wonderfully delicious. I don't know what kind of pickles they were. They go well with that fluffy white rice. So weird. Anyways, also, wait, there's more. Okay, Billy Mays. So delicious, it just seems so delicious. For all my unhealthy self-food said he made with a cup of noodles, and appeared to be in a good spirits as she was offering such a delicious-sounding dinner. The stress evaporated from the gun hunger ferocious head. At the same time, our weariness suddenly dwindled. Rena announced that she was alone. She was alone. Shouldn't be a problem later inside. There was the possibility that it was laced with poison and still hadn't been ruled out. At that moment, I had cold chill down my spine once again. I couldn't understand what such a sensation had occurred just then, but the voice beside me was sounding the alarm. This happy Rena speaking of this charming dinner was dependent on one premise. That premise was tonight dinner had been made at my house. Meaning it was under the assumption that my mom, who should be making it, wasn't here. And in a normal household, 7 o'clock would be around the middle of dinner time. If my mom was here, we'd be eating dinner around this time as well. The fact that she brought over all the makings of a meal at this time was inherently strange. Unless she knew. Rena, did she know that my parents weren't home? But there was also the chance that she was a bluff. I had turned on the lights and a bunch of other stuff to make it seem like my parents were here. Then there was a chance that Rena was unsure if my parents were home. But I had to wonder, the laundry, the garage, evening paper, there were plenty of signs of them being hastily tidied up. It was hard to say that Rena didn't have a chance to determine if my parents were here or not. But there was no reason for me to confess it right now. I should try holding on to the fact that as long as I could. First of all, their chain was still latched. As long as I didn't take it off, Rena wouldn't be able to do anything to me. I'm quite grateful, but dinner will be ready pretty soon. Huh? Is that so? I know you went through all the effort and everything, but well, I don't even think we're going to be feasting my words trail off weekly. But some of this could work as side dishes, I think. I'm sorry we have no more than enough already. My mom always makes with a few sides. So, huh? You have side dishes? With a smile that bordered on the cringe, I dodged her questions apathetically. But the feeling I tried to ignore began creeping back again. I spoke as my mom was selling dinner right now, but she didn't mesh what Rena was saying. Rena was talking as if she was aware of some obvious fact. In fact, I was aware of it as well. So Kichika can cook. What did you make, I wonder? And I was not that Rena assumed out of nowhere that I made the dishes. No, not so much that I made them, but rather that my mom had it. Did you really make them? The side dishes? Did you, Kichikan? It wasn't me who made them. My mom did. No, she's making them right now. So you see, I'm sorry, but I can't eat what you brought. Rena felt sullen at that moment. At that moment, I felt that the light suddenly disappeared from her eyes. How about I try guessing what Kichikan's dinner will be? It doesn't matter what I'm going to eat. Let's see. The conversation might appear natural at first glance, but Rena was firmly in control. I felt like I was being interrogated. I'm gonna guess she's gonna say the fucking ramen. Your dinner, I wonder how it's not gonna be made with just hot water. Hey, now stop the insults. I can't believe you belittle my mom's shoving dinner like that. They could sold flew all out capacity artists. That's amazing. I tried my best to pull on a strong front, but I couldn't get my teeth quite right. So instead, I looked like someone who was borderline hysterical. But Rena showed me no reaction whatsoever into that silliness. Kichikan, did your mother really leave your dinner? No, you see, she didn't leave me dinner. She's making it right now. It's almost time for dinner. Rena took the assertion in mind that my mother was home making dinner right now. I was completely ignoring it. I could tell that the more I panicked, the colder Rena came. Kichikan, at the moment, an uncomfortable chill crept in the gap at the doorway. Is your mom home, I wonder? I couldn't keep up with this charade anymore. Rena, she knew full well that my parents weren't home. But I came to far admit it now. Anyway, my parents were here and would be having dinner soon. That was the situation I could code. So I answered. I told her she was here. She's here, of course. I could feel the humidity drying out from the surrounding air. Rena's eyes would become even more frigid, piercing me with their gilded glare. Why? What do you mean? I tried to catch a hold, but the affectation was torn off in the instant I looked into Rena's eyes. That look and informed me of Rena's response faster than she opened her mouth. Why have you been lying to me? I wonder. I'm not lying. That's a lie, isn't it? It's not a lie. Ooh, she looks real mad in this. Lies. Rena's outburst and a jolt surging through my body. Rena and I were still separated by a few inches that slightly ajar, but still chained the door could afford. But despite that, I was still being cornered. Oops. My house, which I considered to be a safe haven until now, became more like a dark alleyway where no one could save me. Shall I get your dinner, Kichika? Let's see. I knew that Rena had already known that my parents would not be here tonight, but it was still so strange that she'd become this. Even if she somehow knew that my parents weren't home, there was still no way she'd be able to guess I'll be eating tonight. But Rena said she'd guess. How could she guess it? How could she know it's instant? Cup noodles. That's right, isn't it? I was going to eat what cook inventory a man who can't do housework is probably, but cup noodles after all. Look at this. Statistically, there was the most probable answer. That didn't mean she was guessing. I don't think it was full just noodles. I don't think having rice and stuff. I think having rice and stuff will definitely hit the spot. Calm down, Kichi Mibera. This was just coincidence. It was just probably just reading certain tales of mine. I just think they look so weird, man. That's great. Man, still the fact that it was chilling for now. Blah 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 blah. But it was as if she was actually reading my mind. If it was being read, then she'd be she was a demon. No, not a demon. Things like that, they couldn't possibly exist. How long has this been going on for? Oh wow, this is a while. Do you like them? Do you mean noodles? No. What? I mean, that's just at the point when my answer was suggestion was wrong. Her rebuttal was short. At the moment, I didn't understand the words Rena had spoken. Sorry, Rena. What did you say just now? Huh? About what? I said, oh, yes, there's something I liked, didn't you? I knew it wasn't long before I regretted how carelessly I pushed forward with that question. It was such a limp answer that I asked why I wasn't able to comprehend it. Pork bone and ginger flavor. I wondered how I appeared in the moments, but my mind went completely blank until the moment I was able to recover. As I felt it begin slowly just swirling in a counterclockwise direction, I lost all sense of balance. Why do you know that? I didn't even deny it. That was the type of frenzy state I was in. How could you not even know this? Not even caring as I mashed my head against the door, I fixated my gaze on Rena. But I assumed you didn't even flinch or just let me do that. I certainly did buy them. I bought a bunch at once. I bought a whole case. How could you know that? Why, I wonder. Quite strange, isn't it? Isn't it? How could you dodge a question at a time like this? The chain and door suddenly were no longer protecting me. How do you know? Why do you know? Answer me. You bought them at Someone's Market, didn't you? A shiver ran up my spine. I tried covering up with an angry facade. Like I said, why do you know that? I was behind you, following you the whole time. But what are you saying? I couldn't understand what she was saying. She'd been following me all this time. That's because Reno was right behind Kichikan's back the whole time. Yeah, like that night. That night I was absorbed into my phone conversation with the way she said I didn't sense her being there, sitting behind the door behind me, staying there just like that. When Kichikan was picking up the noodles, I was watching the entire time. You picked out so many different flavors, didn't you? Then your mom got angry if you were going to pick the expensive ones, and you just pick one type, she said. Kichika picked out the big box of pork bone ginger flavor that he loved so much, didn't he? I like it too, pork bones and noodles, but I could never eat a whole big bowl by myself. My brain was paralyzed, dulling my senses. It might have been a defense mechanism, diminished the fear I was feeling to non-traumatizing levels. Alright guys, hold on. Okay, I'm back. It's not, I don't know where I left off at. Either way, let's just continue from the new sentence. Then I could understand what Rena was saying, and I started to put meaning behind her words. Even as my fear didn't subside completely, it was like I was sitting at the edge of a cliff, eyes closed so I didn't have to look down. It didn't actually solve any of the basic problems. I slowly took a step backwards, and as I withdrew, Rena advanced. So Kichikan, can you open this? Can we eat dinner together? I'm sure it's going to be delicious, so okay? Rena's pale slinger's fingers squirmed through the crack on the door one at a time, as if they had mind of their own, rattling the chain. If she had unlatched the chain from the door, a feeling of terror would have just exploded within me. But Rena didn't do that. She was simply imploring me to remove the chain. She was doing her head hardest to light the fuse to the powder kick in my heart. Turning again and again. Just clatter, clatter, but it doesn't light. It doesn't light. Open up, Kichikan. So please go away. I beg you, please go away. How can you say so mean? I wonder. Please go away. Go away. Go away. The powder keg and something finally went off. No, smoldering just exploded. I took out the front door. The force of the door had knocked me momentarily off balance. I couldn't hesitate here. I mounted the door now with both hands, planted my feet firmly and pulled with all my might. Both that slamming sound I desired didn't happen. I could feel a tiny disturbing bit of resistance keeping the door from closing, and it's just that was Rena's fingers. Each of those fingers wiggling and squirming around the tendrils of the carnivores planted through the crack in the doorway. It hurts, Kichi-kan. It hurts. Ugh. It wasn't a harness scream, more of a yelp she was trying to keep back. Go away, go away, go away. I kept pulling hard on the door with all my might. I didn't even realize that if I didn't lose my pull on the door alone, at least momentarily, Rena wouldn't be able to pull her fingers out, and that's why the door wasn't closing. It really hurts, Kichi-kan. I'm sorry if I was messing around too much. I didn't care about her for her apology. No matter how much she apologized, it didn't change any of what she had done up until now. It didn't change anything. It hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry. Go away, go away, go away. Rena couldn't even leave even if she wanted to because I trapped her fingers. Rena's white fingers had become a deep red, were no longer were even squirming. I'm sorry. Go away, go away, go away. I'm sorry. Rena's apologies were occasionally twisted with pain, but like a broken record, she intended on repeating it over and over. Go away, go away, go away. Stop it. I pulled on the door even harder. Finally, Rena's fingers were somehow able to slip out their imprisonment in the doorway. The moment that happened, the door closed silently, and I could hear the thud of Rena falling on her butt on the other side. I locked the door immediately. I made a loud clunk, and my voice That's my rejection of Rina. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Kichi-kan. I'm sorry. Open up, Kichi-kan. Rina lingers through apologizing profusely, nothing else. After confirming that I was sufficiently sealed off from her, trudged away from the entrance. On the other side, I could still hear Rina echoing apology. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Then I will be forever seeking my forgiveness. I didn't feel bad about this at all. But I suppose I don't have any sort of malice. Oh, just felt sort of hazy sense of relief that I was able to escape from Rena. Brought me on 30 minutes to the doorway saying there was something she didn't know. I just know it's the same place. Rena told me the same thing. My feeble attempts to disguise the fact that my parents were home, I served no purpose from the start. I was just pretending to be out and not even open the door. My meager plans hadn't helped at all, and Hinami saw it was impossible to outwit them. Even though I was on the other side of the door, I wanted to get away from here as far as possible. On step, 2 steps on her sniffling, apologies getting more distant. I sprang upstairs and dove into my room. As you expected, I finally not able longer to hear her in this apology. Dove into my bed, I was startled by the hard lump I felt. There was something in my bed. It was the receiver. I finally remembered. It was in the middle of a call with Uchi-san. Look at the clock. Apparently not much time had passed since I went downstairs. I hit my clock. I ran out of batteries. I had talked with Rena for so long, I almost didn't know time pass. But then I glowed was ticking forward 1 second every as usual. But I still wanted to receive her in time, which felt frozen once again. Hello, Ishii-san. Sorry to keep you waiting. No, not at all. I didn't wait that long. It became apparent that the amount of time that passed between myself and Ishii-san was different. Over the phone, I could hear an energetic voice from a sports program or something. The Joe phone just how far away Ishii-san really was. Rena came just now. Did she come to play? I was so confident that I could coherently explain the situation to Ishii-san, but I didn't need to right now. Right now, I needed to know about Rena. That's right, I was planning to ask Ishii-san more about Rena, but Rena still is in the conversation. What was true and what was false, I couldn't tell. The one thing I knew was the single grim reality that Rena was suspicious. I might be able to figure something out that I asked Ishii-san about her. Up until now, I regretted it, whether I forced myself to ask about these things that I better off not knowing. But looking at that way, you could say it hit rock bottom. There was no possible way I could feel any more regret than I did now. No, rather, I wanted to know if there was anything beyond this I would regret more. If I regret about tomorrow, it wasn't happening out of the realm of possibility for something to happen tonight. I wanted to know everything I could. I was absolutely not going to die like this. And not knowing without knowing anything, I definitely won't. Regarding Riku-san, I did a bit of digging. Yeah, well, it wasn't much. I understood that Uchi-san was talking in circles. I bet, man, I dug so deep it's hard to discuss with you since you're a friend. I want to know everything from your research. I don't think you're very interested in what I have to say, though. Uchi-san, I spoke as calmly as possible to Uchi-san, who was continuing to avoid the question, issue. And then I said it. I think Riku is suspicious, even in past incidents from Oyoshima's curse. Riku is involved. Do you have some sort of proof that makes you believe Rina is suspicious? The manner in which Risha's aspect became very firm. Do you have some sort of proof? Then I was him talking as a detective. I only have circumstantial evidence. I see. I could tell even over the phone how disappointed Uchi-san was. Pointing on the fishing line when he felt the bite, only to feel in the bait with disappointed. But seeing the cast the line once more, that's how it seemed. Oishi-san, you can't do anything without physical proof, can you? Well, I mean, if you can come and say anything without proof. I stuck that barb in there. Uchi-san lives around about ways of saying things. He understood me just fine. It's fine, my bear son. I'll protect you. That moment, that was not the least bit sharing. Uchi-san was just using me to continue his investigation. I was going to get killed, and my corpse would be an important piece of evidence. That was all I was to him. Whether I'm alive or dead may not be concerned to your investigation, but it's all over for me when I die. Or just I went still on the other end of the line. That may have been too blunt, but I didn't care. All I needed to relay what she said was that I currently in a very dangerous position. So please tell me about Rina. Satoshi chiffered out. Not too far in the future, I'll also do what Rina called transferring out as well. But you won't be able to find my corpse. You haven't been able to find Satochi's body yet. Alright, Mibera-san, please calm down. I was already suppressed. Wait, what? Suppressing my agitation even with that Oichi-san. They're gonna tell me. Anyone would be able to solve anything if I continue to scream about my mistrust in the police. It would seem that I could have depended on myself and bat Satoshi left behind if it didn't protect myself. Man, I'm getting tired, man. This chapter needs to be over. Then I at least wanted to know about it before we entrance to schools. You're aware that this won't be very interesting, right? Oichi said, realizing my resolve couldn't be swayed, finally caved. Right now, to me, there's something that I'll find uninteresting, please. There were a few things I need to tell you to agree to. Okay, please keep this confidential. Also, part of this may be speculation, not all of it may be true. Are you still interested? It might not be true. I understand what you mean. There just isn't one main investigation for the mysterious channel death and Osawa. Each one is treated as its own individual case. Plus, thus, Rina Rigo had never been linked to any other investigations. Basically, you see, this is an investigation of Rina done by the police, and a personal query is what you're telling me. This will make things a lot quicker so you understand. All of this was from either phone calls or meetings and interviews. They aren't corroborated. I'm asking you to take this all with a grain of salt, is what I mean. Do we have an agreement? All of it is just from what you heard. And yes, my apologies. It's all my personal investigation. You see, that thing. Before you said you saw Rena's chart, ain't you? I'm sure I heard you say that. We just unpaused for a moment on the other end of the line. I told you that too. Haha. Please pretend you didn't hear anything about that. I didn't care what she started having certain obligations and responsibilities. I also didn't care if there was no proof. Even if they were just rumors, there is no smoke without fire after all. Please tell me, Oichi-san. Understood. Oichi-san finally opened those tight lips of his. It seemed that Rina lived in Hinamizawa a long time ago. She had to move to Ibaraki Prefecture after she finished elementary school. Then following that, right after transferring, the unfortunate incident, the breaking of the windows happened. Then Rina confided to the doctor. It was Oyoshiro-sama. That was all he knew. There wasn't much difference between what I know and what you know, my bearer's son. Then what part of you did investigate further? I didn't need to ask. It was an incident that happened just after she transferred. The incident Rina was responsible for and what she divulged to the doctor afterwards, correct? Yes. After you learned about that, well, you started suspecting Rina and others, didn't you? Yeah, I did suspect them. So they're the ones after all. Oh no, that's not what I meant by suspect them. Oichi-san was the type of person to say things with confidence, but these particular words were less reassuring. Then who did you suspect? That it was Oyashiro-sama. Huh? That Oyashiro-sama's curse really exists. Yeah, right. Well, haha, Oyashiro-sama's stuff was quite dry, certainly not the kind that would make you want to join in. Oichi-san resumed the conversation about the dubious circumstances behind the Satoshi's disappearance. The curse of events up until... Sorry guys, I'm just so tired. The course of events up until the start of delving into Rina's past. Just sitting there, I was stunned in the distance and heavy rain started pouring down. It came without warning. Rain was so heavy it felt like it could beat you down. I had left the window of my room open a crack to let it heat out. The violent wind danced into my room, making the curtain flaps wildly. What is it? Oh, nothing. It suddenly started raining heavily. Sorry, please continue. I got up while still on the phone, closed the window. I said at the beginning it was an incident, but because neither school nor victims filed charges, the police were never involved. So you see, those involved were very reluctant to talk. Regardless of there being a victim, had one eye beaten so badly that it had permanent damage. It could have been the school or possibly some individual who made arrangements to keep this from going public. Also, the psychologist was very strict about their professional ethics. Hello? Mibara-san, can you hear me? You should hear you, because we just did. There was a figure of a person standing by the light near the mailbox this whole time. Even in this torrential rain, they didn't have an umbrella. They were unquestionably drenched from head to toe, and the shower was more resembled a waterfall, droplets of water down from her hair. Just sitting there, both arms tickling at her side. One hand down, one stack of boxes wrapped in cloth. Her eyes focused on my room, focused on me as I was about to close my window. Her mouth was meditatively repeating and chewing in motion. It was as if someone had nothing hard to chew in her mouth with their cheeks puffing out. What could she be eating over there? How could it be at this time? I was more enthralled by Rina instead of the shocking developments being brought to light by Yosha-san. If I hadn't started right now, I wouldn't have gone to the window. Then I wouldn't have noticed Rina, nor would I have noticed that. Rina's mouth was moving the same pattern. She wasn't eating something, she was repeating something. What was it? Was she repeating? To me? What was she saying? And why was I right up against the window fixated on her? Hello? Mibera-san? Can you hear me? Hello? I'm sorry, huh, Mibera-san? I'm sorry. 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 Hello? Mibera-san? What's the matter? Even this torrential downpour, Reno was still apologizing. The other self inside me drew the curtain hastily with my right hand, blocking my view of the outside. Even doing that, Reno's feeling his apology still reached my ears. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, it's getting annoying now. If I forgive you for this, will you forgive me for that? Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, it's getting annoying. Damn it. Why did I have to forgive her? I'm the one who wants to be forgiven. Upon me, can't you forgive? I want to be killed. I won't be killed. If you won't forgive me, then I won't forgive you either. I won't forgive you. You won't forgive. Okay. Okay. Remember, son, if you can hear me, then please respond. Hello? I want now, no text, bruh. Oh, is it daytime again? It looks like it. Oh, finally, this is over. I can go to bed. I'm going to end the video, guys. I'll see you tomorrow night, maybe. I'm going to my friend's house, so I might not upload tomorrow. I'm not sure. Bye.